A woman walks into a room and there's something about her, an air of quiet confidence. She doesn't seek attention, yet everyone notices her. She doesn't speak often, but when she does, her words carry weight. She moves with certainty as if she knows something the world doesn't. This is a woman who has mastered the art of being alone. And let me tell you, a woman like this is dangerous. Not in the way the world defines danger, but in a way that challenges everything we think we know about power. In a world that constantly demands attention, noise, and validation, a woman who enjoys solitude becomes a mystery. And mystery, that's power. But what makes her truly dangerous? Stay with me, because by the end of this talk, you'll understand why the most powerful thing a woman can do is to learn to stand alone. A woman who spends time alone is not lonely. She is powerful. She understands that solitude is not a void to be filled, but a space to be embraced. In a world that constantly demands connection, engagement, and validation, choosing solitude is an act of defiance. It is a declaration that she does not need the presence or approval of others to feel complete. This kind of self-sufficiency is rare, and it makes her formidable. When a woman learns to be alone, she unlocks a level of self-awareness that many never reach. She listens to her own thoughts without interference, making her deeply in tune with herself. She is not swayed by external opinions because she has spent enough time understanding her own. She becomes her own source of clarity rather than seeking answers from the noise around her. This internal grounding makes her decisions sharper and her actions more intentional. There is strength in stillness. While the world moves at a frantic pace, urging people to keep up, she moves on her own terms. Solitude teaches her patience and control. She does not react impulsively because she has learned to sit with her emotions, process them, and respond with wisdom. People who are always surrounded by distractions often struggle with emotional regulation. They seek comfort in others, avoiding the discomfort of their own thoughts. But a woman who embraces solitude has already faced herself, her fears, her insecurities, her doubts, and has emerged stronger. Spending time alone forces her to rely on her own resources, both mentally and emotionally. She does not look to others to fill an emotional void because she has learned how to comfort, motivate, and heal herself. This kind of independence is intimidating. Society is used to women who need, who seek, who rely. A woman who needs nothing from anyone, she becomes unpredictable. She is not easily manipulated, persuaded, or controlled. People who cannot be controlled are often labeled as dangerous because they do not fit into the structures designed to keep them dependent. Solitude also breeds confidence. When a woman is constantly surrounded by people, she may unconsciously compare herself to them, adjusting her actions based on external expectations. But when she is alone, she defines herself. She discovers her own strengths, her own desires, and her own voice. This self-assurance radiates when she interacts with others. She does not seek approval because she already knows her worth. She does not conform to fit in because she is comfortable standing alone. Her independence does not mean she is disconnected or unapproachable. In fact, it makes her relationships stronger. She does not enter friendships, partnerships, or commitments out of desperation or fear of being alone. She chooses people who add value to her life, not those who merely fill empty spaces. This makes her relationships more meaningful based on mutual respect rather than dependency. She knows she can walk away from anything that does not align with her growth, and that kind of power is rare. A woman who enjoys solitude does not waste energy proving herself to others. She does not need to announce her strength. It is evident in the way she carries herself. She is not afraid of silence, of empty rooms, or of moments without validation. She has learned that the most profound growth happens in those quiet spaces, away from distraction. While others are constantly looking outward, seeking validation, she looks inward, refining herself, sharpening her mind, and deepening her understanding of the world. The world often misunderstands women who choose solitude. They are labeled as distant, cold, or even arrogant, but the truth is they are simply powerful. They are women who have realized that their strength does not come from external sources, but from within. And when a woman reaches that level of self-sufficiency, she becomes truly unstoppable. Self-sufficiency is one of the most powerful qualities a woman can cultivate, and it is the cornerstone of her independence. In a society that often emphasizes connection and dependency, a woman who chooses to stand alone is seen as a revolutionary force. Self-sufficiency is not about isolating oneself from the world, but about learning to rely on one's own resources, both emotionally and mentally. It's about understanding that validation and strength do not come from others, but from within. A woman who is self-sufficient knows her worth without needing it confirmed by others. She does not seek validation or approval from external sources. Her sense of self is not shaped by the opinions or judgments of those around her. She is grounded in who she is, secure in her own identity. She understands that her value is inherent, not determined by anyone else's assessment. This internal confidence makes her unstoppable because she does not need anyone to tell her that she is capable or worthy. She already knows it. In a world where people often tie their worth to relationships, appearances, or material success, a self-sufficient woman refuses to be defined by those fleeting things. She doesn't measure her self-worth against others' successes or failures. She doesn't rely on external factors like praise, recognition, or companionship to feel whole. Instead, she finds satisfaction and fulfillment in her own achievements, in her own growth, and in her ability to navigate the world with grace and strength. She doesn't need to depend on others for affirmation because she has learned how to validate herself. Self-sufficiency also means emotional independence. A woman who is emotionally self-sufficient does not depend on others to manage her feelings or fix her problems. She understands that her emotions are hers to navigate, process, and control. She does not place the responsibility of her emotional well-being on others, whether it's a partner, a friend, or a family member. She has developed the ability to face her emotions head-on and deal with them in healthy ways. When faced with hardship or challenges, she doesn't crumble or turn to others for rescue. Instead, she taps into her own resilience and wisdom, knowing that she has the strength to handle whatever comes her way. This emotional self-sufficiency allows her to be stronger in her relationships. She does not enter them out of need, but out of choice. She is not desperate for someone to complete her. She understands that she is already whole, and any relationship she enters is one of mutual support and growth. She chooses partners and friends who respect her independence and who add value to her life rather than relationships built on dependency or imbalance. In this way, her connections with others are rooted in authenticity and equality rather than in the need for emotional support or approval. A self-sufficient woman also does not rely on others for her success. She knows that the path to achieving her goals and dreams lies in her own hand. She is driven, motivated, and focused on creating her own future. She does not wait for others to open doors for her or hand her opportunities. She seeks out her own path, takes calculated risks, and pursues her passions without needing anyone to approve or validate her journey. Her independence in this way makes her more resourceful and creative because she has no one to lean on but herself. She has learned how to navigate the obstacles that come her way with a sense of self-reliance and determination. This kind of self-sufficiency is also empowering. It gives a woman the confidence to take risks and make bold choices without fearing the judgment of others. She knows that no matter what happens, she has the inner strength to handle the outcome. She is not afraid of failure because she knows that failure is not a reflection of her worth, but an opportunity for growth. Her self-sufficiency allows her to persevere through setbacks, to pick herself up when she falls, and to keep moving forward with unwavering determination. A self-sufficient woman understands that she is the master of her own life. She does not wait for anyone to come to her rescue or to offer her solutions. She looks inward for answers and takes full responsibility for her actions and choices. She is empowered by the knowledge that she does not need anyone to survive, to thrive, or to be happy. She has everything she needs within herself. This kind of self-sufficiency is not just a skill, but a mindset, one that is rooted in the belief that a woman is complete on her own and that she has the power to shape her own destiny. In today's fast-pacing world, distraction is everywhere. Social media, endless notifications, and the constant pull of other people's expectations often keep individuals from focusing on what truly matters. It's easy to get caught up in the noise, to be swept away by the demands of the world, and to lose sight of personal depth and growth. A woman who embraces depth over distraction is rare because she actively chooses to reject the superficial and focus on the profound. She understands that true fulfillment and meaning lie not in the fleeting external distractions of daily life, but in the quiet, reflective moments that allow for personal transformation. A woman who values depth over distraction makes conscious decisions about where to direct her energy. She is selective with her time and attention, understanding that not all things are worthy of focus. In a world filled with superficial engagements, it's easy to fall into the trap of feeling busy without truly accomplishing anything. The constant stream of information and distractions can leave one feeling overwhelmed and unfulfilled, but for a woman who seeks depth, this noise is nothing more than background clutter. She understands that real value comes from investing time in things that challenge her, things that help her grow, and things that align with her values. She doesn't get caught up in mindless chatter or fleeting trends, but rather seeks out what nourishes her mind, body, and soul. This focus on depth allows her to cultivate rich, meaningful experiences. She isn't satisfied with surface-level interactions or shallow connections. She craves authentic relationships that foster personal growth, challenge her perspectives, and inspire her to become a better version of herself. Her conversations aren't trivial or filled with idle gossip. They are discussions that stimulate her intellect and touch her heart. She is drawn to people who bring substance into her life, who encourage her to think critically and who challenge her to reach new heights. She is not content with the empty noise of shallow interactions, but instead looks for the depth that comes from true connection. Depth over distraction also means prioritizing introspection and personal reflection. A woman who values depth takes the time to slow down and truly understand herself. In a world that encourages constant movement and instant gratification, she intentionally creates space for silence and stillness. This is where she learns who she truly is, beyond the labels, beyond the expectations, beyond the distraction. She takes time to evaluate her thoughts, feelings, and desires. She processes her experiences and reflects on her actions, using this time to evolve and refine her character. This self-awareness allows her to make intentional decisions that align with her deeper values rather than being swayed by the opinions or pressures of others. This quest for depth also extends to her passions and pursuits. A woman who values depth over distraction doesn't flit from one interest to the next, seeking to impress others or fill the void with constant busyness. Instead, she devotes herself to things that hold deep personal meaning. She dives into her work, her creative projects, or her hobbies with a level of commitment and focus that transforms them into something much more than just a pastime. She pours herself into her craft, refining her skills and expanding her knowledge. Whether it's art, writing, business, or any other field, she seeks to leave a lasting impact, to create something of significance rather than merely passing the time. In her relationships, depth over distraction means truly listening to others, not just hearing them. It means being fully present, paying attention to the unspoken words, and understanding the nuances of communication. She does not rush through interactions or multitask while talking to someone important. Instead, she values the quality of her interactions over the quantity. She seeks to understand others at a deeper level, to empathize with their experiences, and to offer support in meaningful ways. Her relationships are built on trust, vulnerability, and authenticity. They are not shallow, transactional connections, but deep bonds that are nurtured through genuine care and attention. A woman who chooses depth over distraction understands the importance of solitude. While others may seek constant stimulation and external engagement, she embraces the power of being alone. Solitude is where she finds clarity, where she reconnects with her core values, and where she refines her purpose. It is in the quiet moments that she hears her inner voice, and it is in these moments that she is able to reconnect with her true self. In solitude, she gains the mental space to reflect on her goals and dreams, to fine-tune her ambitions, and to listen to her intuition. It is from this depth of self-awareness that she draws her strength. A woman who values depth over distraction leads a life that is intentional, purposeful, and fulfilling. She doesn't waste her energy on things that don't matter or get lost in the chaos of the world. She chooses to focus on what brings her true happiness, fulfillment, and growth. She understands that true success lies not in how much she does, but in how deeply she lives. And this is what sets her apart, her ability to cut through the noise, to prioritize what is meaningful, and to live a life rich with purpose and depth. Emotional mastery is one of the most empowering traits a woman can possess. It is the ability to understand, process, and channel emotions in a way that enhances her life and the lives of those around her. In a world that often encourages emotional suppression or erratic expression, a woman who has mastered her emotions is a force to be reckoned with. She doesn't allow her emotions to control her. Instead, she uses them as tools for growth, clarity, and resilience. One of the foundational aspects of emotional mastery is self-awareness. A woman who has achieved emotional mastery is deeply aware of her feelings. She doesn't shy away from difficult emotions like anger, sadness, or fear. Instead, she welcomes them as signals that offer important insights into her inner world. She doesn't suppress her emotions or let them fester. She acknowledges them, examines their roots, and takes the time to understand why she feels the way she does. This level of awareness allows her to make conscious choices about how to respond rather than reacting impulsively or letting her emotions dictate her actions. Self-awareness also enables a woman to identify patterns in her emotional responses. She can recognize when she is triggered by certain situations, people, or thoughts, and she has the tools to manage her reactions in a healthy way. Instead of getting swept up in emotional outbursts or knee-jerk reactions, she takes a step back, assesses the situation, and chooses how to engage. This ability to pause before reacting is one of the cornerstones of emotional mastery. It allows her to remain composed even in challenging situations and to respond thoughtfully rather than in a way that might escalate tension or create unnecessary conflict. Another key aspect of emotional mastery is emotional regulation. This is the ability to manage the intensity and duration of one's emotions. A woman who has mastered her emotions knows that it's natural to feel a range of emotions, but she doesn't let them control her behavior. If she feels anger, she doesn't let it consume her. She understands that emotions are temporary states, not permanent realities, and she knows how to navigate them in a way that doesn't derail her life or her relationships. Emotional regulation allows her to maintain a sense of calm and stability even when the world around her is chaotic. A woman who has emotional mastery also understands the importance of emotional intelligence in her relationships. She is able to tune into the emotions of others, recognizing their feelings even when they are not explicitly expressed. This ability to empathize with others strengthens her connections and allows her to respond to people with understanding and compassion. She doesn't just listen to others with her ears, she listens with her heart, attuning herself to their emotional needs. This emotional intelligence creates an environment of trust and respect, making her relationships more authentic and meaningful. Emotional mastery doesn't mean a woman is immune to emotional pain or hardship. On the contrary, it means she is equipped to handle life's ups and downs with grace and resilience. She knows that pain is a natural part of the human experience, but she also knows that it doesn't have to define her. When faced with adversity, she doesn't crumble under the weight of her emotions. Instead, she uses them as stepping stones, learning from her struggles and growing stronger. She has developed the resilience to bounce back from setbacks, not by denying her feelings, but by embracing them and using them as a source of strength. She understands that her emotional landscape is not a burden to be avoided, but a powerful resource for self-growth. A woman with emotional mastery also knows how to create emotional boundaries. She understands that her emotions are hers to manage, and she doesn't allow others to manipulate or dictate how she should feel. She can set clear boundaries with people who are toxic or who drain her energy. She doesn't allow the emotional turmoil of others to overwhelm her, nor does she allow herself to be pulled into unnecessary drama or conflict. Her emotional boundaries protect her well-being and help her maintain a sense of peace and balance in her life. Emotional mastery also involves the ability to find emotional balance. A woman who has mastered her emotions knows that life is full of highs and lows, and she doesn't allow herself to be swept away by either extreme. She celebrates her successes, but she remains grounded, not allowing pride or arrogance to take over. Similarly, when she faces challenges or setbacks, she doesn't let self-pity or despair consume her. She knows how to maintain a sense of equilibrium regardless of the circumstances, and this stability is a key factor in her emotional strength. Ultimately, emotional mastery is about harnessing the power of emotions in a way that enhances one's life. It's about understanding that emotions are not something to be feared or repressed, but something to be embraced and understood. A woman who has achieved emotional mastery has the power to create a life that is not ruled by her feelings, but shaped by her intentional responses to them. She becomes the architect of her emotional world, using her emotions to build resilience, strength, and wisdom. In doing so, she becomes a woman of extraordinary power, able to navigate the complexities of life with grace and poise. Unpredictability and mystery are often seen as qualities that make a person intriguing and compelling. For a woman who possesses these traits, they become not just intriguing characteristics, but powerful assets. When a woman embraces unpredictability, she defies the expectations of others. She refuses to be easily understood or categorized, which makes her not only captivating, but also influential in a way that others can't quite put their finger on. Her mystery comes from the fact that she doesn't reveal everything about herself, and this creates a magnetic aura that draws people in, keeping them wanting to know more. This unpredictability makes her an enigma, and that is exactly what makes her powerful. A woman who is unpredictable does not follow conventional patterns of behavior. She is not bound by societal norms or the expectations that others impose on her. She refuses to be predictable, and because of this, people are often caught off guard by her actions, words, and decisions. She isn't a person who conforms to the scripts others have written for her, nor does she fit into any mold that society has created. This unpredictability adds an element of excitement to her presence, keeping those around her on their toes. People may try to understand her, to figure her out, but she does not make it easy. This keeps the intrigue alive, creating an aura of mystery around her. The unpredictability of a woman who masters this quality is not about erratic or reckless behavior, but rather about her ability to surprise others with her choices. She doesn't fall into predictable patterns or routines. She knows how to be spontaneous, to take risks, and to venture into the unknown with confidence. This unpredictability allows her to navigate the world with an open mind, unafraid of what lies ahead. She is unburdened by the fear of the unfamiliar, which makes her bold and daring. People are drawn to her because she challenges their assumptions and forces them to think differently. She doesn't conform to a predictable life trajectory, and in doing so, she opens herself to limitless possibility. Mystery, on the other hand, is a quality that many find irresistible. A woman who embraces mystery doesn't feel the need to reveal every part of herself to the world. She understands the power of keeping some things hidden. By holding back certain aspects of her life, personality, or intentions, she keeps others guessing. This sense of mystery creates an allure around her as people naturally want to know more. They try to decipher who she is, but she never fully gives them the answers they seek. Instead, she offers just enough to keep them intrigued while leaving plenty to the imagination. This air of mystery is what makes her captivating. It's what leaves people coming back for more, eager to uncover the layers of her personality, but always left wondering what lies beneath the surface. A woman who is both unpredictable and mysterious knows that there is power in her ability to surprise others. She is not afraid of being misunderstood or misinterpreted. In fact, she uses it to her advantage. By remaining elusive, she is able to control how others perceive her. She can choose when and how to reveal parts of herself and when to keep things close to the chest. This gives her the ability to shape her own narrative, to remain in control of her story, and to keep people guessing about her true intentions. She doesn't give everything away, allowing others to fill in the gaps with their own assumptions and curiosity. This unpredictability and mystery allow her to stay one step ahead, to remain in control, and to always keep people guessing. This combination of unpredictability and mystery also makes a woman less vulnerable to being controlled or manipulated, because she refuses to follow predictable patterns or give away her thoughts and emotions. She cannot be easily influenced. Others may try to pressure her into revealing her plans, her feelings, or her desires, but she remains elusive. She doesn't give people the opportunity to hold power over her because they can't figure her out. This makes her a formidable presence in any situation. She is not easily swayed by the opinions or desires of others because she is not tethered to their expectations. Instead, she remains firmly rooted in her own sense of self, constantly surprising others with her independence and her unwillingness to be pinned down. The mystery surrounding her also creates an air of respect. People are drawn to her not only because they want to know more, but because they realize that she is not an open book. She is a woman of substance, and there is something deeply attractive about that. The fact that she doesn't reveal everything makes her more valuable in the eyes of others. She doesn't feel the need to overshare or seek validation from those around her. Instead, she lets her actions speak for themselves, creating an aura of power and strength that others can't ignore. Her unpredictability and mystery make her intriguing, but they also make her a woman of undeniable presence and influence. A woman who embraces unpredictability and mystery is one who understands her own power. She refuses to be defined by others, and she doesn't allow anyone to have full access to her thoughts, feelings, or intentions. By keeping a sense of mystery around her, she commands respect and admiration. By being unpredictable, she keeps people on their toes, challenging their assumptions and forcing them to think differently. Together, these traits create a dynamic, powerful woman who is not easily understood but always remembered. A woman who values legacy over approval is someone who chooses to focus on the long-term impact of her actions rather than seeking immediate validation or praise. She understands that true success is not measured by the applause of others or the approval she receives, but by the lasting imprint she leaves on the world. This mindset shifts her perspective from short-term gratification to long-term fulfillment, guiding her decisions and actions in a way that aligns with her core values and vision. Her journey is not about seeking accolades, but about creating something meaningful that will endure beyond her lifetime. For a woman who prioritizes legacy, the need for approval from others fades into the background. She doesn't seek external validation to feel worthy or successful. Instead, her sense of fulfillment comes from knowing that her efforts are contributing to something greater than herself. She is driven by a deep desire to create change, to make a difference, and to leave behind a body of work, relationships, or contributions that will continue to inspire others long after she's gone. This drive is not about impressing people in the moment. It's about creating something that will stand the test of time, something that reflects her values and her purpose. When a woman values legacy over approval, she becomes more focused on her mission than on the opinions of others. She is not deterred by criticism, rejection, or the lack of immediate recognition. Instead, she is steadfast in her pursuit of her goals, knowing that the impact she is working toward may not be immediately visible. She understands that greatness takes time to cultivate and that meaningful change is often a slow and steady process. Rather than being discouraged by the obstacles that may come her way, she views them as stepping stones, as necessary challenges that will only strengthen her resolve and add depth to the legacy she is building. In her relationships, a woman focused on legacy is not looking for constant validation or affirmation. She builds connections based on mutual respect and shared values, not on what she can gain in the short term. She understands that the people who matter most are those who see her for who she truly is and appreciate the long-term vision she is working toward. Her relationships are deep and meaningful because they are grounded in authenticity, not in the need for approval or superficial praise. She surrounds herself with individuals who support her mission, not because of what they can get from her, but because they share a belief in the importance of creating something lasting and impactful. A woman who values legacy over approval also refuses to conform to societal expectations or live her life according to other people's definitions of success. She is willing to go against the grain, to take risks, and to stand out even if it means facing opposition or disapproval. She understands that true innovation and progress often come from those who dare to challenge the status quo. She is not afraid of standing alone or walking a path that others may not understand. Her actions are guided by her own values and her desire to create a meaningful legacy, not by the need to conform or gain the approval of others. This commitment to legacy often leads to a life of purpose and fulfillment. Because her actions are guided by a larger vision, she is not distracted by fleeting desires or the need for momentary success. Every decision she makes is aligned with her greater purpose, and every step she takes brings her closer to fulfilling her vision for the future. Whether she is pursuing a career, building a family, or contributing to a cause, her focus remains on what she can leave behind, on the impact she can make, and on the lives she can touch. She knows that her worth is not determined by the praise she receives in the present moment, but by the lives she influences and the changes she inspires. In the pursuit of her legacy, a woman is often driven by the knowledge that the path she is carving will shape the future for generations to come. She understands that her contributions, whether through her work, her relationships, or her values, have the power to create lasting change. She may not see the full extent of this impact in her lifetime, but she trusts that the seeds she plants today will grow into something meaningful in the future. This long-term perspective allows her to remain focused and motivated even when faced with setbacks or delays. She knows that the most significant achievements often take time and that the rewards of building a legacy are not always immediate, but they are lasting. By focusing on legacy over approval, a woman transcends the limitations of the present moment. She does not measure her worth by the fleeting praise or criticism of others, but by the enduring impact of her work. Her actions are driven by a sense of purpose that extends far beyond her own lifetime, and she is committed to creating something that will stand the test of time. This commitment to legacy not only shapes her own life, but has the potential to inspire others to follow in her footsteps, creating a ripple effect that spreads far beyond what she may have ever imagined. In this way, her life becomes a testament to the power of vision, purpose, and the lasting value of creating something that truly matters. The journey of a woman who values legacy over approval, embraces emotional mastery, and thrives on unpredictability and mystery is one of immense strength, purpose, and resilience. She prioritizes long-term impact over short-term praise, choosing to create a life that aligns with her values and vision. Her mastery over her emotions allows her to navigate the complexities of life with grace and stability, while her unpredictable nature and mysterious aura make her an intriguing, powerful presence in the world. By rejecting the need for external validation and embracing the power of her own self-sufficiency, she becomes a woman who is not only unstoppable in her pursuits, but also a source of inspiration to others. Her legacy is built on the choices she makes every day, decisions that are grounded in deep awareness, authenticity, and a commitment to making a meaningful difference. She is unafraid to defy conventions, challenge expectations, and embrace the unknown, knowing that it is the path to creating something truly impactful. The woman who masters these qualities, legacy, emotional mastery, unpredictability, and mystery, builds a life that resonates far beyond herself. Her influence touches those around her, and the legacy she leaves behind becomes a lasting testament to the power of living authentically, passionately, and with purpose.